Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Harmony Foundation podcast series, and I'm pleased today to be joined with Victoria Olson from Expand Mentoring and Angelo Ciliberti, who is a private practice clinician in the Boulder area. Welcome.
Yes, hi.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here. Before we get into your respective programs and what you both do, let's talk a little bit about your background and how you all got into the field of addiction treatment. And we'll start first with you, Victoria. What was it that sort of moved you to work in the field of addiction treatment and recovery?
Well, I fell into the field of mental health probably when I was about 19 or 20 when I was in undergrad, and I've worked in residential treatment and transitional living. And then what moved me more in the direction of addiction treatment was really my own journey with addiction and recovery, and finding that working with people that struggle in those areas just really, what I have found that helps them is really very authentic relationships, and that's what I like to offer people, is very authentic, meaningful relationships. Mm-hmm. And so with my own experience with addiction, it just moved me in that direction of working with more people.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk for a few minutes about how you talk about that authentic relationship piece into the practice of expanded mentoring. But before we do that, let's talk with Angelo. So tell us, how did you land in this field?
Well, I got into the field actually through mindfulness and through mindfulness practices. And growing up, I was very interested in Buddhist and contemplative practices, which brought me into really looking at how mindfulness can be used to enhance well-being and wellness. That brought me to Naropa University. And then from Naropa, I got into the counseling field. And similarly to Victoria, I got into addictions work in particular actually through going through my own recovery process, and then really feeling a heart connection to substance abuse work and recovery work, and having a really strong conviction that psychotherapy can be transformative for people in their relationship to substances and themselves.
That's great. And you're in Boulder, correct?
I am in Boulder.
And both of you work together. You've known each other for years. And so you refer to Victoria's program, and I'm sure, Victoria, you work with him in regards to clinical, which is great.
We do.
Yeah. So let's talk for a few minutes about Expand Mentoring, because it's a really unique concept in the field that I think is starting to emerge, but not to the degree that it should. And so can you share with us a little bit about this idea that you kind of grown over the last couple of years?
Sure. When I started Expand Mentoring, what I felt was there had to be a different way to do things other than residential treatment. And I found that being in relationship with people tends to be what is one of the biggest catalysts to change. And so I felt if I could develop an organization that had mentors and coaches, sober coaches, that could just be with people and help walk alongside them to help them develop the life that they wanted, that recovery would come with that. And so I have about 15 or so coaches now that work with me in helping people develop the life that they want in a therapeutic way.
Yeah, and what's neat about it is that you're helping to address the issues that often trip people up in early recovery.
Right.
So many people think it's the big trauma issues, but sometimes it's as basic as what we talked about, going to the grocery store,
right,
and the stressors and anxieties that can come along with that.
Right. It could be going to the grocery store. It could be dealing with schoolwork. It could be with how to do their laundry or how to find an apartment. Just the daily stressors that take place in everybody's life.
Just really kind of cultivating those coping skills in a healthy way. That's great. And so, Angelo, your practice is really built around addiction treatment, but you also have a very special emphasis around trauma. Can you talk for us a little bit about what kind of modalities you're using to address that?
Sure. Well, I see trauma as really being the foundation of addiction, actually what gives rise to it, especially our experiences in early life. So I look at how I can take as collaborative and relational an approach to a participant, whether that's also incorporating modalities like EMDR to work directly with trauma, to really help to shift their relationship from one of turning to substances to regulate, to really knowing that they can form a connection with themselves and with somebody else to be able to co-regulate. So that's why I get very interested both in individual work, but also leveraging group psychotherapy as an opportunity to help people with the obstacles that they may feel around connecting with other people.
And that's a good resource to have, particularly for people like Harmony when we're doing step down for clients who need that additional continuing care. So, Victoria, you love to travel?
I do love to travel.
So just out of curiosity, what's your most favorite place to travel to?
Probably the best trip that I've taken thus far would be to Belize. I had a really great magical time in Belize for my honeymoon.
Nice.
And we did so many just interesting. Gosh, it's such a beautiful country, and just beautiful landmarks and experiences there.
And do you like to travel?
I love to travel.
Is there any place in particular that you like to go?
It would be a toss-up. Most beautiful places I've been, I would say, would be Kyoto during the cherry blossom season, and also the south of Thailand. That was probably the most magical experience I've had in a place where it's just so surreal how beautiful it is.
I can imagine. Well, it sounds like you both have the adventurous spirit, which is fantastic. You both are visiting Harmony for the first time. So what are your thoughts, Victoria?
Wow, it's such a beautiful facility, and everybody I've met is so, it's such their heart work. Everybody that I've met, and this is where they're supposed to be. And I love the fact that that Harmony offers a very holistic approach, and an approach that worked collaboratively with other people.
That's great.
With other practitioners.
Thank you for that feedback. That's helpful. How about you, Angela?
I would say this place has soul. You can just feel it. I mean, after spending the day here, just everywhere I go, just looking at the smile on people's faces and how interactive and relational everybody is, I feel very, very confident sending a client here and knowing that they're going to be very, very held here.
Thank you. That's great feedback. And we feel very fortunate to be able to build partnerships with both of you. So thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us.
Thank you.
If someone wanted to access services for Expand Mentoring, how could they get in touch with you, Victoria?
Sure. They could either reach me through my website, which is expandmentoring.com, or our phone number is 303-945-3007.
Okay. And then, Angelo, if somebody needed to reach you, how could they do that?
So my website is Angelo Ciliberti with a C, Ciliberti, angelociliberti.com. And my phone number is 303-949-5577.
Wonderful. Thanks again for your time today.
Yeah.
Thank you.